on today's show, does the Kawhi Leonard story impact the Dallas Mavericks? I'm going to tell you how I think it potentially could. Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. Jeffrey Cooperstein here with you guys. And if you've been living under a rock for the past 24 hours or so, you wouldn't know. So let's set the stage here. This tweet came out very early yesterday morning from Pablo Torre Finds Out, his podcast. If you don't know who Pablo Torre is, go give him a follow. He is a fantastic investigative reporter, despite what Bill Simmons has to say. Exclusive. Kawhi Leonard signed a $28 million endorsement deal for a no-show job with fraudulent tree planting company funded by $50 million from Clippers owner Steve Ballmer, according to documents obtained by Pablo Torre. It was to circumvent the salary cap, an inside source says. And oh boy, could this get juicy. First of all, everyone has thought about circumventing the salary cap before. It is a thing that all of us fans discuss as like a possible way to sign a free agent. Oh, you can sign him for $10 million and just give him another $20 under the table. It's talked about all the time. Now, I'm not going to say that Ballmer is guilty, that Ballmer certainly did this or not, but if he did, the ramifications could be absolutely massive if they found out that, yeah, he paid Kawhi for a no-show endorsement deal to circumvent the cap and give him more money to play for the Los Angeles Clippers. That could be a massive, massive, massive story for the NBA. One of the biggest ones that's happened, frankly, off the court since maybe the Clippers thing 12 years ago. And if you know what that was, oh boy, you can go Google it. But here's why I think it could be big. As of right now, I think the Clippers are firmly in the discussion in the thick of the Western Conference playoff race. And I know we haven't started the season yet, but here's how ESPN ranked the Western Conference in their power rankings. They had the Clippers at number 5, just right by the Minnesota Timberwolves, right by the Golden State Warriors, the Lakers, followed by the Mavs at number 8. So they think the Clippers are going to be one of the top 6 teams in the West and playing in the first round of the playoffs and avoiding the play-in altogether. And if the Clippers are healthy, I kind of see them in that same vein as well, although they did lose Norm Powell this offseason, who was a 20-point-a-game scorer. Look, if something actually does happen and Kawhi Leonard is unable to play during the regular season, that would be a huge, huge problem for the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, it's also certainly possible that Kawhi just gets injured and doesn't play anyways, because that always seems to happen with Mr. Kawhi. So we'll see what happens there. But let's go back to 2000, when a team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, actually got punished for doing this thing with Joe Smith. And I'll tell you what, the punishments were pretty hefty in 2000 for cap circumvention. I can only imagine what they would be now. Here's what the punishments looked like for the Minnesota Timberwolves back in 2000. They were fined $3.5 million. They got 5 first-round draft picks taken away. Joe Smith's contract with the Minnesota Timberwolves was completely voided. The owner and head coach, Kevin McHale, were suspended for 1 year. That is a huge, huge punishment back 25 years ago. What would happen now if they found out one of the league's biggest stars, surefire Hall of Famer Kawhi Leonard, was circumventing the cap alongside the league's richest owner in Steve Ballmer, who was paying him under the table in order for Kawhi to get the requisite amount of money that he thought he needed in order to stay with the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, there were also rumors in this report that Kawhi had free agent meetings with the Los Angeles Lakers and with the Toronto Raptors. He told the Toronto Raptors owner to go find an extra $15 million in endorsements in order for him to re-sign with Toronto, and we obviously know that that didn't happen. He stayed the 1 year, won the title, and dipped out to Los Angeles. Jeannie Buss also said that Kawhi's Uncle Dennis, and we all know about Uncle Dennis if you've been on NBA Twitter for the last 10 years or so, Uncle Dennis asked for a private jet, among other things, in order for Kawhi to sign with the purple and gold. He obviously ended up with the Los Angeles Clippers, the upstart LA Clippers, and they ended up going and getting Paul George as well to pair up with him. So it sounds like that while, yes, Kawhi did get a substantial amount of money to go join the Los Angeles Clippers, there could have been some fishy stuff going on in regards to Kawhi's contract with the Clippers, to this endorsement with this deal aspiration. And look, as far as the potential punishment goes for the Los Angeles Clippers, I don't even know, frankly, where to start. It's not like they can really take away any first-round picks. The Clippers barely have any of them to trade as it is. They've traded almost all of them to try to stack their roster and contend in the Western Conference. So I don't know if you can do that. Like, Are they going to make Steve Ballmer sell the team? Is Kawhi going to get a lengthy suspension? I do think that those are two things that are absolutely on the table if indeed they are found guilty of what is being accused here by Pablo Torre. And I have no reason not to believe Pablo Torre. I have no reason really not to believe the Clippers side of things either. So let's just see how it all plays out. But I could see Steve Ballmer having to sell the team. I could see Kawhi getting a lengthy suspension. And at this point in time, if Kawhi did get a lengthy suspension, it would more or less end his career as we know it, because he only has maybe 1-2 years left as it is in his prime. If he gets suspended for a season, I think Kawhi might end up just calling it quits anyways. What is your one-word reaction to the Kawhi Leonard news? Let me know down there in the comment section. I think mine was just surprised. I didn't think a story like this would ever end up happening. I did love all the memes, by the way, of the Jalen Brunson extension and people trying to tell the NBA to go investigate that one as well, because it was absolutely crazy. But let me know what your one-word reaction down there in the comment section is. Today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss out on any of the excitement this season with PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you could cash in. PrizePicks is also the best place to get action in more than 40 states, including California, Georgia, Florida, and of course Texas. They put their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. PrizePicks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this football season. Thursday night football is tonight as the season gets kicked off, the Cowboys and the Eagles. I'm going to take the more on CeeDee Lamb, 6.5 receptions. Give me the more and take advantage on the Dak Prescott, half a passing yard. If you think Dak's going to throw for more than 1 yard against the Birds this Thursday night, take the more there. And then pair it up with something like Devontae Smith rushing and receiving touchdowns. I'm going to take the more on that. And then I'll take the less on Cowboys running back Javonte Williams with 10 rush attempts. So you can copy my picks or make picks of your own. Just please make sure you do it with our friends over at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 in lineups. PrizePicks. It is good to be right. Just a few more things on the Kawhi Leonard saga where, look, I think we've heard about potential stories like this happening in the NBA. We've heard about superstars kind of getting these contracts and then getting a little more on the side to try to make up the difference. And it's certainly something that maybe has happened in the past and maybe has happened since the Minnesota Timberwolves were punished for it in 2000. But there's never been a documented instance, and the NBA has never actually, found somebody guilty of doing this since the Timberwolves last did it. And if you ask former Mavericks owner Mark Cuban, he's on the side of Steve Ballmer. Shocker, the owner is on the side of the owner. I'm on Team Ballmer, says Cuban, as much as I wish they had circumvented the salary cap, which is pretty funny. First, Steve isn't that dumb. If he did try to feed Kawhi Leonard money knowing what was at stake for him personally and his team, do you think he would let the company, Aspiration, go bankrupt? That company that Kawhi signed the endorsement for did go bankrupt, I believe in March, by the way, knowing all creditors would be visible to the world. They got scammed along with many others, crimes for which they pleaded guilty last week. Scammers do many things. They did a $300 million sponsorship deal with the Clippers in 2021. That is a huge deal, better than the team does, yada, yada, yada. It actually makes perfect sense that if they stole money from the investors and want the Clippers to succeed, why not give stolen money to help keep their best player? And then he calls out Pablo Torre and said it's sad he didn't take the time to find out how these scammers pulled off their scam. The idea that the default is Ballmer is the bad guy is going to backfire on him. So Mark Cuban firmly in the camp of Steve Ballmer, and I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not accusing Mark Cuban of, circumventing the salary cap or doing anything nefarious when he was owner of the Dallas Mavericks, but there was a time where Dirk Nowitzki took a huge hometown discount when he was offered a max by the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Lakers. I think Dirk signed for like $10 million a season when that happened. I'm just saying. Kawhi Leonard, by the way, still a fantastic player in the NBA. If anything were to happen to him, it would spell doom for the Los Angeles Clippers. I mean, 21.5 points last year, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 50% from the field. He's damn near in the 50, 40, 90 club if you would have shot 0.2% better from the field. 41.1% from three, and still one of the best wing defenders, maybe if not the best wing defender the NBA has to offer right now. He is a true two-way player, does it on both ends of the court. They call him the Claw for a reason, because he has hands that are absolutely massive and has one of the best defensive abilities the league has seen, frankly, in the last 25 years. And if anything were to happen to Kawhi, to the Clippers, if they were found of doing something wrong, whatever the case may be, it could open up a whole can of worms the 29 other owners in the NBA do not want opened up. I'm just telling you right now that if they found something, they're going to start investigating other things, and then other things are going to come out about the owners, and then other things are going to come out, and then the NBA Players Association is going to get involved, and it could be an entire mess. So, of course, if anything happens with this Kawhi Leonard thing, if it impacts the Mavericks, you'll find out right here on the channel at youtube.com/MavsTV. Man, I got to say, I'm very curious and I want to see how this one plays out, because if it happens the way I think it might happen, it could spell doom for Kawhi Leonard, and it could be great news for the Dallas Mavericks.